Touches the nose boop to the palm of our hand. We can use this as a way to redirect our dog away from something we don't want them doing, or even just a way to get them excited and warmed up and ready to work with us. You can also use this as a way to distract them, again, and redirect them on walks or when out in public spaces.
Yes, touch, yes. There we go, good boy. Sit.
When practicing sitting down, remember to be patient and only ask once. So you say sit or down and then hold still. Don't repeat yourself, hold your cue, and wait for him to finish the behavior and mark and reward. If you wait more than 10 to 15 seconds and he still hasn't done it, then you can reset and ask again. You can see this here where I ask him and I have to kind of hold the down cue a little bit for him to do it. He knows these cues, and it's not even that he's being stubborn. It's that he's trying to process the information. He's still a little guy and a young puppy, but also our dogs aren't robots and they don't always give us robotic responses. Sometimes their brain needs to process the information a little bit slower before doing the thing. So we want to make sure that we are patient and giving them the opportunity to do so.
Down. Yes, good job.
For recall, you're going to say, Hudson, come. And as soon as he turns and looks at you, you're going to mark yes and then start praising him and then reward once he gets to you. If you call and he doesn't respond and look at you right away, you want to give a pause just like we did with those other things. Give him a chance to process, and when he turns to look at you, be ready to mark yes and begin praising again. It's really important with come that we do not repeat ourselves. This can easily ruin your recall completely because they learn it's an irrelevant word to them because you're saying it with no follow through from him. You can practice this in a yard or on a long leash in a public space or any kind of fenced in safe area that you can find.
Yes, good job, buddy.
Leave it means stop and back away from the thing you were headed towards. So you can practice this by simply dropping some treats on the ground. I normally will start with dropping one treat and then multiple to make sure that he can practice leaving things that might drop in larger quantities on the floor or even things that would hit the ground and scatter like pills or chocolate chips or candy. As soon as he stops going for the item, you want to make sure you mark yes and then reward. If you were doing this in real time, you would not have a treat on you. So what you would do is a praise party to the treat. So you would say leave it, and as soon as he backed away, you would say yes and then praise him all the way to go get a treat.
Good job.
Drop it means let go of the thing that is in your mouth. One way to practice this is by playing tug with him. He loves this tug chase toy. You just want to make sure that you're playing a lot in between each drop it. So you're going to say drop it, and as soon as he does, you're going to mark yes and toss one or two treats onto the ground for him to get. Just like with leave it, if it happens in real life, you're going to do that praise party to the treats.
Good boy. Good boy. Yay, Hudson.
Stay means I've put you in this spot and do not move. You're going to tell him to stay, back away, come back, reward. Say stay again, back away, and reward again. And then his release word is free, and that means he's free to get up and do what he wants, and it does not need a food reward.
Yes. Free. Good boy. Yay, Hudson. Wait.
Wait means stop and don't go any further. So when we say wait, we're drawing an imaginary line and telling our dogs they cannot cross that line, but they can do anything else. They can sit down, stay, walk around. It is not like the stay we just did where he wasn't allowed to move. He is allowed to move around as long as he doesn't cross that line. So I'm going to say wait. I walked up the stairs and I'm going to move around, and I'm just going to periodically reward him for not crossing that line. And you're just going to toss the treat because we want him to know the treat comes to him where he is. He doesn't need to come and meet us to get the treat. When we want him to cross that line, we can say free, and that means he can follow us. I love to practice this on stairs so that you don't have a dog that is tripping you as you go up and down stairs. So you can say free as soon as you're down and let him come with you. We also can practice a lot at front doors so we don't have a dog that is door dashing out every time a door is open. So just like we did with the stairs, we're going to ask him to wait. We're going to step outside, move around a little bit. You can periodically reward, and then you're going to come back in, shut the door, and then reward him for staying. But you do not have to release it. You only have to release wait if you're letting them cross the line. So because I'm not going to let him go out the door with me, I'm not going to release it. I'm simply going to come in, shut the door, and reward him.
Good boy.
Practice this throughout real life as much as you can. Anytime there's a package at the front door is a really good time to do this. Say, wait, you're going to pick up your package, come inside, shut the door, and then again, reward him. But you do not have to release him. Here, I'm bumping up the challenge by picking up a larger box that I'm then going to walk past him to sit down while leaving the door open. And I'm seeing if he can still continue that wait even when I'm not standing there kind of blocking the door. And as you can see, he did so great with that.
Yes, good boy.
And then when you are going to take him out on a
Wait.
walk, you can do the same thing, say wait. And then this is where you will say free, which tells him he is free to now come out the door and go on that walk with you.
Let's go. Good boy.
Place means go there, lay there, and stay there until released. His release word is free, just like it was for stay and wait. So you're going to point towards the bed and cue place. Once he is on there, you're going to mark yes, and then toss him a treat to the bed. We want to make sure that the food reward comes to him on the bed so that he knows the food comes to him. And again, he's not trying to meet us for it, just like similar to wait. So you're going to walk around and do formal training sessions like this where you walk around, add in some distractions, some distance, and you're going to reward him for staying put. If he gets up, simply send him back and then start over. When you send him back, do not reward right away. You want to send him back and either move around a little bit or even just simply hold a little bit of duration and then reward. This is important because otherwise you're going to have a dog that thinks they can get up every time just to get sent back to get a treat. So you can see there, like there were some distractions I did and he got up. So I sent him back, did the distraction again, and then rewarded when he stayed. As he gets better, you're going to slowly add more time between each treat until he doesn't need as many. But formal training sessions like that are really helpful to build that duration of time between treats as well as distraction. The other way to practice place is in real life scenarios like you see here. This is when I was teaching group classes. So I've got him on his place and then I'm just periodically rewarding. Another example is here at dinner time. I'll bring the bed over and then it's a little different in this scenario. What I will do is what I call passive training. And so instead of just telling him to place, knowing he may get up throughout because it's a longer time and I'm doing another task, so I may not be able to reward as frequently as he needs at that time in his training process. So what I'm going to do is just place the bed there. I'm not going to say anything, but if he chooses the bed, I'm going to reward it. And then continue to periodically reward it throughout dinner. If he gets up, I'm not going to say anything because I didn't tell him he had to be there. But if he goes back to the bed and makes that good choice again, I'm going to reward him again and continue that. And what we build is a dog that can hold longer foundations because he knows that good stuff happens when he chooses his place bed. And it helps you not feel so stressed about having to release him, or making sure he's not kind of failing by getting up. The real life training sessions like this are really helpful for two main things for place. One is building longer duration of time, like sitting 30 to 45 minutes through a dinner. The other thing it's really good for is just building in context where you're actually going to want this. So when you practice this at dinner a lot, what starts to happen and what Hudson does know is that when we sit down at the table for dinner, if he chooses to go to his mat, he's going to get rewarded. So I don't even say anything. The bed is there. And when we sit down, he is already on his bed making that choice on his own because he just knows that's just what we do because it's something that we did every single night while he was here for dinner. For the potty bells, Hudson is not quite at the place where he knows to ring them to go outside yet. We are still practicing him ringing them and being able to ring them loud enough that you're going to hear them. So when you take him home, you're going to start with this first step of just holding the bells, cue him bells. When he hits them, reward him. You're going to do that repeatedly over just to make sure he understands, and then we're going to start transferring it to the door. Then you are going to move the bells towards the door and continue practicing. It's really important that you don't just go straight to putting it on the door from your hand because most dogs won't transfer that. They need to see that gradual change. So you're going to just bring it closer and closer to the door and then up against it so that he understands that it's the same game we've been playing. So you're going to cue bells. Once he hits it, you're going to mark yes and reward. If he doesn't hit it very hard, just wait a second. And when he hits it again, reward that. You can reward by tossing the treat away. It just helps reset him and get him coming back ready to play again. Once you've done this for about just 2 small sessions of it to make sure that this is transferred to you doing it with him as well, then you're going to start transferring this meaning from treats to going out the door. So you're going to hang this on your door, and every time you take him out to potty, you're going to cue him bells. When he rings the bells, instead of treating him, you're going to say yes and open the door and cue him to go potty. And then this is the stage where you will just continue to do this until he starts to make the correlation between ringing the bells and going potty on his own. Once you are at the step where you've got the bells on the door and are cueing him when every time you go out to potty, you will no longer be rewarding with treats or doing these other training sessions like this. These training sessions you see me doing here are just for you to do a couple times in the beginning just to get him started and ready to go, and transferring this cue to you. But once you've got the bells on the door, you will no longer do this because we want to quickly get that transitioned from the treats to outdoors.
Yes, good job.
All right, well, I'm out on a walk with Hudson, yes. And we're going to just kind of show you a little bit about walking with him. So the main thing that we're doing is, of course, trying to encourage him to be comfortable out on his leash. He's definitely comfortable in the world. It's really, I think, about the leash. Yes, good boy. So he's made a lot of great improvements with that. The main thing we're doing to start building good walking skills is what we call rewarding good choices. This way. And so what that looks like is when he's walking the way we want him to, he's walking at our side. He's maybe a little in front, but he's walking nicely without pulling. We're going to mark and reward that. Yes. Good boy. Let's go. Come on. Good boy. So we're capturing all the good behavior and telling him that's what we like. That's what loose leash walking is. Yes. Good boy. So look, walking next to us, offering us attention, especially when there's distractions. Walking, like I said, a little in front, but on a loose leash. Yes. We're going to mark yes and reward. When we reward, it's really important that we do 2 things. One is that we're using the hand closest to him, because if you reward with the opposite hand, yes, and cross over your body, you're going to have a dog that starts meeting you in front instead of at your side, and that's going to be super annoying. The other thing we're making sure that we do is reward exactly at our side. Yes. So even if he were to be a little in front of me and I wanted to reward him for walking nicely in front, I would still say, yes, put my hand at my side, and he has to come to me. The reason for this is we want to make all the good stuff happen right next to us, because that's what's going to keep them walking close. So all the good stuff happens right next to us. Good boy. He's doing so much better with just kind of moving along in general. But if you do get stuck, really, what you want to do is, yes, make sure you're doing a lot of cheerleading and encouraging him. If you start pulling on the leash, he is going to kind of buck back at you. He does not like that tension on the leash. So make sure you're using your words, your cues, like let's go or this way. This way means we're changing directions, and let's go just means we're moving forward and we're moving. Or you're just kind of cheering him on and cheerleading him to let him keep moving. If he wants to stop and sniff, we want to make sure we allow him time to sniff. It's a really important part of being a dog, but especially a puppy, because we want to know that he's checking out the environment, he feels comfortable in the environment, and sniffing is just good for them. Like I said, it helps them check out the world. It's how they see the world, through their olfactory system versus their eyes, like we tend to do. Yes, good boy. And it's just letting him get to used to the environment. Over. We have a car coming, so we're going to pull over. Yes. Yes. So if you're walking somewhere busy and there's people or dogs or a stroller or a bike coming, let's go. You can use that over cue. It just means get off to the side. You're going to lure him over to the side and into a sit, and then reward him for kind of staying there and hanging out with you. Even if he wants to look at the thing, that's fine. You saw he kind of looked at the car, and I still rewarded that because he's watching the environment, and we're pairing the environment's not scary with good food. And also you can watch those things and then check back in with me. So that's a great one to use, like any kind of situation like that. Trail coming, you see a really boisterous dog coming down the path. Oops. If he crosses in front of you, you're just simply going to kind of guide him back. Use your hand, guide him back over, step around him this way. Good boy. Yes. and then continue rewarding again. So just kind of reset him, help him out. If he spun too far around you, you might have to kind of adjust a little bit more. You're doing so good. Yes. Good job. And so, yeah, this is it with him. Like I said, let's go. You can use if he's been sniffing and you're ready to move on and he's still kind of stuck there on that sniff. Let's go just means we're moving again. Yes. And this way means we're changing directions. The other thing I want to make sure I remember to say is that when it comes to rewarding good choices right now, because of his age and the fact that he is still learning, we are rewarding 100% of good choices. Yes. And so we're rewarding him constantly. As he gets better at walking, you're going to slowly wean down from 100% of good choices to 75% of good choices. You want to take a little sniff? 75, 50, 25, and so on. Yes. Good boy. Until you don't need so many treats. But right now, every walk is a training walk, and you're going to be rewarding quite a bit. So make sure you have a lot of treats with you. You can break them nice and small. They don't need to be more than pea-sized. But even those little training treats can be broken into 2, and they can be really pretty small. Yes. Good boy. So we've been able to get, I'd say, at least a block down. And he's already, you can see, more confident today than really he has been. Every day he gets a little bit more confident with going out on the leash and going out into the environment. Just taking him out lots of different places. I would also recommend, oops, car coming. Come on. Come on, over. Can you get up? Yeah, we'll do that. That'll be a good over. There we go. Sorry, buddy. That car was coming fast. All right. Just taking him out this way. Taking him, like, if there's different routes you can take and not take the same kind of route or path every day, that would be my suggestion as well. Just so he gets used to going different places and he doesn't get stuck where he can walk one route really far with you, but not a different route. So just switching up the routes every day, knowing that in the beginning, when you switch, if he's doing really good with one route and you switch to a new route, that you might backtrack just a little bit and not get as far that day. But just consider that, like, it's about the time you're out there and not the distance you go. It's more about the time, the amount of time and the quality time of training that you're out there with him. So overall, Hudson's made huge improvements with leash walking. He's quite the little delight to walk. And I know he's just going to keep getting better and better. Good boy, Hudson. That was so good.
And that's a wrap on Hudson's training.